Say bye, kids. Y'all get home safe, okay? Y'all get home safe. My little partners out here, get home safe, all right? I'm sorry y'all gotta be going through see all this shit. Okay? Get home safe.
Get home safe.
They gotta walk through this shit. Come on, man. These little kids gotta walk through this shit. This shit is crazy.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Merkah HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Merkah HaKodash, Barakatam. It's the brother Kazak coming back at it again with another lesson. And this lesson, alright, is going to be based on this video, this clip that you just saw. Alright, as you see, a bunch of, school children, having to walk through, basically, I suppose, like a Skid Row section of San Francisco, which, this is, basically the coming status of Babylon, man. Babylon is on the decline, because before this place, used to be looked at as a beacon of civilization. Spiritually put, this place was known as the tender and beauty of kingdoms, the golden city, but how has the golden city ceased, man? I wish I'm able to, put the clip in the part where, where the camera pans around at all them homeless people, and then you see like these, literally little children having to, walk through them, man. And that goes to show you that the infrastructure of this place is breaking down. All right, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is doing away with this place, man. So we're going to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1, because this is prophesied. All right, and there is no fixing this place. You got a lot of, Americans, a lot of Babylonians that think that, okay, well, this place is in a crisis. Obviously, there's, issues and things, but let's try to fix these issues and restore this place to its former glory. Like you have, them wave of Edomites, say, make America great again. And you got Jakes that sucked into that notion as well, man. And they are going to be destroyed anyways, man. Because this place isn't meant to be our rest, man. This place is not our end all be all. All right. And it's apparent, it's evident. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is doing away with this place. All right. So the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1, and it reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Shaldians, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." You see? And that's what it is, because, there was a time when, like I stated, through the spirit, that this place was looked at as the beacon of how do I put it to you, the beacon of civilization, the first world country. These Babylonians, they look down on people that come from third world countries, because this place is so civilized, it's so developed, as far as the infrastructure, the buildings, things like that go. All right, but now that this place is, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is doing away with this place. All right, it's no longer called tender and delicate, man. All right, because this place is at a decline. Okay, the homeless rates is going up even higher, and the situation is only getting worse, man. All right, let's see this article that I found on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Now, there was another news article, I was trying to look for it, man. Basically something on the lines of, 20 million U.S. citizens that won't be able to pay their bills, won't be able to pay their bills. And ultimately, it's gonna end up in evictions, man. But I couldn't find it. So this is like the closest thing I could find to that. All right. So like, it's one of the things that, happens, but here it is, man. It says, Another article is titled 20 million U.S. homes can't pay utility bills as tsunami of shutoffs looms. Okay, so we have evictions that's looming, all right, and then the utility bills that's looming, and that stuff is very important to your livelihood, man. You know, because if you're in a cold zone and you don't got the heater on, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna freeze. Or if you're in a hot zone and you don't got the AC on, you're gonna cook. You know, so here it is. All right, Babylon, you know, it's just on the decline. You know, the citizens can't pay. All right, these Babylonians can't pay, you know, their bills and keep up with their livelihood due to the inflations, man. All right, and that's what it goes into in the article. It says more than 20,000, it's like not 20,000, 20 million households face a tsunami of shutoffs after falling behind on their utility bills as the price of electricity skyrockets because of decades high inflations. All right, and that's what the experts predict. Okay, because the economical situation of this place, the financial, you know, state of this place is plummeting, man. All right, and ultimately it's these elites, you know, because they want to you know, usher in their new enterprise, man. You know, so they what do they use? They use their tools, inflation, right? They make their moves to devalue the dollar because they're going to usher in a central bank digital currency. All right, it's that order out of chaos that's being, you know, set. You know, the order at chaos that's being implemented by these elites. All right, another name for it is the Hegelian dialectus. All right, so continuing on, it says since the pre-pandemic era, the amount owed to utility companies has doubled for approximately 1 out of every 6 homes nationwide. So this is something that happened because of the C-19. You know, because of the you know, when they had to lock everything down. All right, and people weren't, you know, restaurants and certain businesses weren't getting the traffic that they were supposed to. You know, certain companies have shut down because of this too. You know. So it reads, state governments had imposed moratoriums on the utility of shutoffs as tens of millions of Americans lost their jobs at the onset of the, you know, C-19 situation. All right, it says, but as the states lifted lockdown measures following the mass, man, I forgot, the mass jab drive, record levels of inflation put a stranglehold on the economy. So this is the how do I put it to you? So like this is the situation at hand. All right, and this situation at hand is coming from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua ultimately, man, because he's putting the spirit on these elites to finally move forward to their agenda, that they may be taken up by the snare which they hid, as it reads in Psalms chapter 9. All right, so continuing on, and it says, driving up the cost of essential goods and services such as electricity. And you know what? All right, you know what? Let me continue on reading the list. Electricity, natural gas, fuel, and groceries. And this is what we've been telling you, Babylonians, man. This is what we've been telling you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. This place is on the decline, man. You know, this the situation, you know, caused by the C-19, right, is going to lead to this, you know. And see, here it is, people didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, take heed. You know, people wanted to, you know, people just couldn't wait until the situation died down a little bit so they could be out and enjoy themselves in their folly, man. You know, go back to being in the house of mirth, you know, partaking in folly and wickedness, you know. So guess what? Now, you know, you have a situation where these Babylonians is getting asked out. You know what I'm saying? And when we say, you know, that these people didn't want to listen to us, all right, just to clarify it, we talking about you tribes, man. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because this is ultimately who the scriptures is written for, man. This ultimately who Yahweh Shem Yahushai is for. All right, these other nations, they're gonna lose by default, you know, but at least you had a chance to get right, you know. And ultimately, Isaiah 6 and 9, you know, it wasn't given to y'all. All right, so let's go back to the to the scripture, Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. And it reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." All right, as you know, a homeless rate is at an all-time high. You know, the roads are not being kept up the way they're supposed to be kept up with. You know, hey, and I say this, you know, my personal testimony. I have a job where, you know, I have to drive around, and I'm starting to notice, you know, even in the fancier, you know, cities, you know, even in cities that are, you know, a little bit more well off than others, they're not keeping up with their infrastructure, man. They're not keeping up with their roads. You know, a lot of the time, especially when you're on the freeway, you know, you see the paint fading away, you know, because they're not maintaining it, man, because they can't, you know, and that's the predicament that Babylon is in. It's about to crack. It's about to fall. And there is no coming back, man. All right. The state that is in right now is irredeemable because it's Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that's doing this. All right. And there is no, you know, delivering from the Lord's hands. All right. It says, "Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. And I will take vengeance, and I will not meet you as a man." You know, because ultimately this is the place where the destruction of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans took place, man. All right, the slavery and genocide. All right, that's where this took place, on down to this modern day. You know, on to this day, the oppression takes place, man. You know, and these devils have been exposed. All right, all that has been exposed. You know, all the wicked agendas has been exposed. This place, you know, in a worldwide, you know, in general, you know, people from other parts of the world, they don't look kindly unto this place or the people in it, man. You know, they look at, you know, the certain, you know, consensuses, you know, certain, you know, you got those you know, trending videos, you know, where you got the people that go around, you know, asking these Babylonians, you know, questions or two. You know, and these Babylonians show how stupid they are, man. You know, it shows how wicked they are too, you know, because they get asked questions dealing with, you know, certain things that, you know, this society condones, and ask their take on it. And for the most part, they with it, man. You know, so that's what these nations think of you, man. Stupid and wicked, especially them Eastern nations, you know, such as Elam, you know, such as Ishmael. You know what I'm saying? That go into that Islam, which is not to put them or uphold them in any way. You know, they still going in slavery. You know, but even they look down on y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, man, at least they trying to live to some type of righteousness, right? And here it is, Esau over there bombing them up, man. You know, and that's what's it called? That's ultimately, you know, Isaiah 14, where it says, you know, "Thou hast ruled the nations in anger." All right, but lucky, you know, didn't mean to ramble on. All right, continuing on with the scripture, it reads, "Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms." Right, because this place, you know, like I stated, you know, used to be seen as a beacon of civilization. You know, that's why, as it reads in the book of Revelations. All right, let's grab that real quick. Revelations 18. All right, let me see. Whoops. Revelations 18. There it is. All right, that's why it says, all right, Revelation chapter 18 and 3, it reads, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her sorrows." It's like through the abundance of her delicacies. It's like with that, you know, as a spirit, man, it's going to be an abundance of sorrows that's going to come upon this place, man. An abundance of sorrows. That might be the title for the lesson, man. You know, so it's between, you know, Babylon is on the decline and that. All right. Or that might be another lesson. You know what I'm saying? But Revelations 18 and 3, you know, to break it down, it says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication," meaning they took on this place's philosophies, the lifestyles, on down to the architecture and the style of clothes, man. You know, all these nations, they used to have their own architecture, their own, culture. They used to do business their own way. They used to wear their own garments, right? But now they switched that out. They traded their architecture for their distinct architecture for skyscrapers. They traded their distinct garments and style of clothes and etiquette for this Babylonian how do I put it towards this Babylonian way of being, man. All right, to the mannerism of these devils. That's why it says in the book of Salakia. That's why it says in the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 7. All right, and I'm gonna read from the top of the verse and then get to the point. It says, all men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. All right, so these nations, they drunk of the wine of this wicked ass queendom. All right, and in turn, and as a result, not necessarily as a result, but at the same time or synonymously, all right, they ate the bread of these devils, man. All right, of these Edomites, because that's who is being referred to in Obadiah chapter 1. All right, which really is the only chapter in Obadiah. But brothers get what I'm trying to say, man. This book here, is referring to only Edom, man. All right, so when it says they that eat thy bread, it's talking about these other nations that followed the ways and adopted the ways and philosophies of these devils, which is the Babylonian way. All right, so continuing on, let me see verse Revelations 18. I'm gonna see if there's more on that. And ultimately this is gonna happen until the complete destruction of this place, man. All right, there is no coming back. And let me see, that goes into healed. Yep, right there. All right, let me see. Start where we're gonna go into. You know what? Let's start from the top. All right, and it reads, Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1. Thus saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. All right, so you see, this talking about Babylon, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is raising up against Babylon. This talking about America. All right, not the ancient kingdom that existed in the past. All right, hence that's why, through the spirit we call, these peons out here Babylonians, man. All right, and it reads, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. All right, and I will send unto Babylon fanners, and that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And that's dealing with the ICBM thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, it says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. Against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Shaldians, they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel had not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. All right, and that's dealing with the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, man. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, flee out of the midst of Babylon, all right, and deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. Okay, and that's what's going to happen now. All right, the recompense is the ICBM missiles hitting this place. But before that, this place completely, breaking down. Society completely shutting down. All right, continuing on. And it reads, all right, and another thing too, in verse 5, when it says, or it's like not verse 5, let me see. Oh, it's like, yeah, verse 6, the same verse, when it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon. All right, and ultimately, that's in parallel with Revelations chapter, let me see. Yeah, chapter 4. All right, where it says, and I heard another, it's like at 18, it's like, yeah, Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And it reads, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. All right, so that's not necessarily talking about, how do I put it to you? That's not necessarily talking about, getting a plane ticket and leaving to another country. That's talking about spiritually leaving this place, man, not being entangled in this place, not being down with the way of life of this place, man. All right, because you got Jakes out there, that push out a flea doctrine, man. They'll get a plane and go somewhere else. You got Jakes that primarily, teach their congregations to go to the, get a plane ticket and go to the land of Israel and live out there. But Israel is about to get hit too with the missiles too, man, because that's where Amalek dwells, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to deliver them into the hands of their enemies, man. All right. So continuing on to verse, so like in Jeremiah chapter 51. All right. And it reads, all right, let me see real quick. See where I was. Right. So verse 7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh Shem Yahushua's hand that made all the earth to drunken. Right. So this golden cup is a representation of how, sophisticated, and basically the extent of Esau's achievements was in this place. That basically it sums it up. A golden cup. Why? Because of the technology, right? The infrastructure, how everything used to be ran, right? The organization of it, if you will, and ultimately the power through Esau's military. This place was on top, but now it's been diminished. Now it's on the decline. All right, it says, all right, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh Shem Yahushua's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore are the nations mad. Hey, and this is another precept that, parallels with Revelation chapter 18 and 3. I'm going to read that again. That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Because this place done polluted everything else, man. Everybody's polluted by this place. Everybody wants to be as these Babylonians, man. Before this place was condoning all the wickedness. Hey, these other nations, you know what I'm saying? You didn't see pride parades everywhere, man. You didn't see the alphabet community worldwide. Because that stuff was looked down on, right? Because Esau, before he had it ruling with the how do I put it, with his Christianity, his Catholicism. They were still wicked, but at least in them societies, things like this weren't looked right on. You know what I'm saying? But now with them pushing out all these agendas, you know what I'm saying? Now it's all, it's a complete, festa of wickedness, man. All right. It's a complete cesspool of wickedness. That's what this place can turn into. It's the core, it's the source of the wickedness, man. Because it pushes nothing but wickedness, and that's why it's evident now. You see the state of this place. You have kids that they get off from the school bus and they have to walk through, literally a city of homeless people, man. Because this place is on its way out. All right, verse 8, and it reads, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Right? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Meaning there is no restoring this place back to its former glory, man. All right, and ultimately it's because it's these elites, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting the spirit on these elites to finally enact their agendas, and not fulfill, but usher in their new enterprise, So this is ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahushua putting the spirit on them to do it. And we'll get into that in a little bit. All right, so it reads, Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto the heavens, and is lifted up even to the skies. Yahweh Shem Yahushua hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, our power. All right. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the vengeance of his temple. All right, so to break this down, it says, make bright the arrows. The arrows is talking about the ICBM thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, and it says, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. That's talking about them Russians. Okay, the Medes here, you know, when another thing too, in the scriptures, when it refers to prophecy, it'll use code words, man. You're not gonna find Russia in the scriptures, man. What they do instead is they use code words, you know, like a proverb, like a nickname. So instead of saying the Russians, they say the Medes. All right, it's not talking about the ancient Medo-Persian Empire. It's talking about the modern day Russians, man. All right, so it says, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to put the spirit on these Russians to destroy Babylon. And that's going to be the end result of this place, man. All right, this place is almost done, man. We're almost home. All right, and that's what we're looking forward to. All right, now I had another precept I wanted to bring out. Let me see if I could remember it, man. It was just in my mind, you know. But basically, that's, you know what I'm saying, the point of the lesson, man. You know, this place is on this way out. Dang, man, I forgot exactly, you know, the precept that I wanted to bring to close it out, man. You know, but hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna end it with the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. All right, and it reads, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. All right, and that's what I'm gonna end it up on. It's like that's what I'm gonna end it off on. You know, because a lot of Jakes, man, they wanna, you know, they hopping on the Make America Great Again bandwagon, man. All right, and at the end of the day, you finna be destroyed with them devils, man. You're gonna be destroyed with them heathens that subscribe to that. You know why? Because, hey, man, this place is gonna be destroyed. All right, and actually, I just remembered, man, Salakia. You know, the book of Psalms, chapter 9. All right, that's why, you know, these devils are doing this, man. All right, but it's really Yahweh Hashem Yahushua put in the spirit to do, for them to do that, you know, so that he could take them out the way, man. All right, so now I remember, you know, where I was going to. You know, why are these devils doing this? You know, why is this place on the decline? All right, and the reason why is because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is putting the spirit on these devils to finally make their move, to finally, you know, usher in their new enterprise so he could take them down. All right, and that's why it says, Psalms chapter 9, verse 15, the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. In the net which they hid is their own foot taken. All right, and this is talking about basically the collective of elites among these nations, spearheaded by these devils, man, these different banking families, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and so on and so forth, man. You know, to finally usher in the new enterprise, because it's not just these devils, man. Yeah, they're spearheading it, you know, but you best believe is that collective, is that confederacy of these other nations that's in the mix too, you know, and basically, you know, setting it up with them as well, man. All right, so that's why it says the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made, and the net which they hid is their own foot taken. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is known by the judgment that he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hagayan Shalah, because it's this very same downfall is this very same downfall of Babylon that's going to be their destruction, man. You know, it's these very same agendas, or that's actually how I should have put it as, all right, is these agendas being ushered in that they have, that they have, you know, orchestrated, that's going to be their downfall. All right, because what they want to do is they want to collapse the society, all right, and like the metaphor with the phoenix, rise up out of the ashes as something new, something better, you know, but that's not going to happen. They're going to collapse their society, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to send Yahushai back into the mix, man. He's going to have things happen according to, as it is written according to this book, not according to the hearts of these devils, man. That's why the scripture says the pride in thy heart has deceived thee, all right, because they want their enterprise to keep going, man. They want the rulership and their kingdoms to keep going, all right? And that's why they're doing this, so they could come back, but they're not going to come back. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to have them in double straits in the fullness of their sufficiency. All right, as it is written in the book of Job. So with that, I'm going to say, Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rucha HaKudash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. With that, I'm going to say, Shalom, on to the next.